Hello and welcome to Mellow Labs. As most of you know, the week after I post a YouTube video, I host a live stream here on YouTube. And recently, I've added a command to my chat that lets you guys adjust the height of my desk. And that's been super successful. So I want to give you guys more things to control. So today, I want to add a bubble machine that you guys can trigger by sending in super chats. First, let's talk about bubble machines. I've tried 3D printing them and they didn't quite have the right results that I wanted. So instead, I just went to AliExpress and I got some of these micro bubble machines and they're actually pretty clever. So down here we've got a blower fan which blows air through the front of it. On this side we've got a peristaltic pump which sucks up bubble solution and drips it out the front here where it gets distributed over the blower hole by this little wiper guy. Any kind of excess ends up dripping down and going back into the bottle. I just really like this design because everything is like self-contained and you don't have to add anything else. Right, let's plug this into my power supply and see what the best operating voltage for it is. Let's start with like 1 volt. It's going backwards. Okay, let's flip that. The pump is trying really hard to prime itself, but every time it just keeps dropping down. So let's up the voltage a little. 2 volts. Still seems a little low because it's not priming itself yet. Let's try 3 volts. Oh, yeah, now it's coming through. Let's see. Ah, yeah, there we go. Bubbles. Alrighty. Let's try more. 4 volts. Yeah, 4 volts is too fast. 3 volts seems to be the sweet spot for this guy, so let's go with that. I'm gonna have to clean this up because there is currently a lot of bubble liquid on my power outlet. Don't try this at home. A huge part of me just wants to take this apart just to see what's in there, but I can see there's some gears in there. I don't really want to reconstruct a whole gearbox. I immediately broke the little clip that's here. Let's see if we can fix it with super glue. Alright, I'm going to leave that alone, let the glue dry, and meanwhile I'm going to think about how I want to control it. Probably an ESP. After many hours of drawing and deliberation, I have decided that I will be using the ESP8266D1 Mini clone, paired with a motor driver. I don't have any smaller motor drivers right now. I tried making this one smaller by removing the heatsink, and you can see how well that worked. I decided that I'm going to 3D print a mount for the electronics to go on the side of the jar, like so, and then I want the actual bubble maker to be on top, so I'm going to cut a hole for the tubes, and then I want a little bit of adjustability, so I'm going to print like a little pivot arm that lets me move this up and down. So that's the plan. Let's jump into Fusion. I'm going to start by giving myself a virtual jar, if you will. How big are we talking? 59. And let's just extrude this to the height of the jar, which is 114. And there's my jar. Now, I keep a folder full of electrical components that I've used for previous projects. I usually find them on GrabCAD. It seems to be the most reliable place to get them. And I usually just chuck them into my projects whenever I need to reference them. So I've got my motor driver here. Let me just orient it correctly. And let's grab a D1 Mini, like so. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a 3D model for the bubble maker, so I'm going to have to model it myself. And whenever I have to do that, I just do a good enough job for it to be a size reference. The only detailed part of this I need is just this bit, because that's where the pivot arm is going to attach. The rest of this can just be a Cybertruck. Yeah, that seems about right. And a little while later, it's done. Halfway through making this, I realized that I could have just grabbed a GoPro mount from Printables and used that instead. But, you know, it's designed now, so we can move on to the electronics. And here it is. It's probably the simplest thing I've designed yet. It's literally just made to fit the curvature of the jar and mount some electronics onto it. And that just leaves me with one last little thing to design, and then we can start printing. That's it, that's the last piece. It's literally just a cap that goes around the hole that I'm gonna have to drill for the tubes, because this is gonna be really sharp. I don't want the tubes to get cut on it. Right, let's send this all off to the printer. Well, those layer lines could do with some work. Gross. Oh, hey, thanks for sticking around this long. If you enjoy what I do here, please consider supporting me over on Patreon. You'll get early access to my videos, work-in-progress updates, and exclusive content, as well as, Discord server and special livestream commands. So, if that sounds interesting and you have a few extra quid a month, please consider supporting me. It really goes a long way in helping me make more cool videos. Oh look, the print's done. Wait. All of the parts are finished printing, so let's clean them up and assemble it. I somehow managed to completely screw up the sizing for this nut to sit in. It's not that big of a deal though. On the plus side, that fits the jar perfectly. Beautiful. That's gonna go in there. That's gonna go like that, somewhere here. Oh yeah, how does that fit? Perfect, look at that. And that's gonna go on there, which gives me the adjustability I wanted. Nice. Now that goes on there with this one. This hole is also not the correct size. Perfect fit. I really have to work on my tolerances. Beautiful. Now that has to go on there, which I think means it's time for me to drill some holes in the lid. Beautiful. Oh, that's the wrong size hole. I guess I'll make this hole even bigger and reuse it for the other thing. Now I need a smaller hole. Damn it. Smaller hole here-ish. Let's add some glue to this and then mount it here. Okay, now a little bit of hot glue around this ring here, and that will just drop right in. Okay, let's see how that looks on the jar. Move it up and down. That is perfect. So now we need to mount this on here. And now we can mount these on here. I know how to use a screwdriver.
Are you sure about that?
There it is. You know what's most surprising? That's exactly how I envisioned it. Look, apart from putting the circuitry in the front here for some reason, it's exactly the same. I love it when a plan comes together. Right, we need to do the wiring. Always put things away when you're done using them, or your mum will tell you off for not cleaning up after yourself. That's the real reason I clean up after myself. Childhood trauma. This is oddly very satisfying to hold. Anywho, the wiring is done. We've got the motor connected to the motor driver, and then the motor driver is connected to the ESP. So now we just have to upload some code. And what am I using to control it, you ask? Well, that's pretty simple, isn't it? It's Home Assistant. Mostly because my desk runs on Home Assistant, so I've already got a script to like control Home Assistant stuff with Python, which it gets commands from my chat. So I'm just using that. So let's upload ESP Home on this bad boy and get it working. And a few minutes later, I have a button on my Home Assistant dashboard that turns on the bubble machine. Right, let's fill this up with liquid. And will it work? Oh, it's priming the tube. Give it a minute. There it goes. And with that, the only thing left for me to do is to write some code so that you guys can control this through the livestream chat. And if you want to see this in action, join us on Monday at 6 p.m. If you want to buy any of the parts I used for this project, I left the links down below the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you on the livestream. The print's done. Wait. Wait.